Wait. Oh, shit! You know what I forgot to do?
What?
Change it to the intro screen.
Oh, so have we just been smiling at people?
Yeah,
oh, cool! Hey, everybody!
Sorry.
I love...
That's alright.
I love this.
You got a nice, slow, steady, like, waiting to the episode.
Yes, with the Venture Maidens. Welcome to episode 22 with the awkwardness. Justine, stop rolling your freaking dice on the microphone.
I'll stop when I'm good and ready.
Good, alright. Oh, you have a cool beer too. I got a special beer in honor of tonight that's Venture Maidens themed, a heroin IPA.
Ooh.
It's got a lady with flames around her.
She have angel wings?
Yeah, made out of fire. She kind of looks like an X-Men, but I don't think that's what they were going for. But I don't know. Anyway, hell yeah. Okay.
Exotic lime ale from Fat Tire.
Exotic lime. That's
I'm drinking a Malbec from Argentina.
You got it because there's a llama on it, don't you lie. That's the only reason.
The reason I got it the first time was because it was called llama wine, but then I kept getting it because it's really good.
What are you drinking, Brittany?
Oh, y'all take a guess. Oh, what could it be?
Oh,
a stout.
Stout.
Is it like a little teapot? Is it short and
quite stout? It's
fill in the blanks, humor.
When you guys come visit, we're going to this bar. It's Hamilton's Tavern in North Park. Very nice.
Right on.
Nice. I like it.
All right, are we ready? Because we've got some shit to do, guys. We've got some work. So I'll just do an official intro again, I guess. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 22 of the Venture Maidens podcast. I am your Dungeon Master, Celeste Konowich.
I am your Elven Warlock, Arnadel Ithil, played by Brittany Quintero.
I'm your Human Monk, Saya Nor, played by Nassim.
And I am Cara Brynhilda, your wine-drinking barbarian tonight.
Whoa.
Classing it up.
All right, guys. So, what happened last episode? That was quite an ending. But what?
Well, so many things.
Yeah.
Well, you've got some sweet fucking abilities, Nassim.
I do.
How did we get there?
Where did we start?
Barging into that room. You were outside that door hearing all the screaming, and then you walked in to a whole mess of shit.
Oh man, it was a mess. Bartleby screaming, "Where is Montgomery?" And we're like, we don't know.
Sorry, bro.
I don't know, bro.
You're like an all-powerful knowledge demon. Shouldn't you know that?
Yes, and we got that sassy quote in that episode. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, and then what was fighting him?
A whole bunch of like fey creatures. Kind of like
Darklings. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you remember what their deal was on your knowledge checks? Oh man, you guys!
They were there to protect the door. I mean, I don't know what their deal was, but they were protecting the door.
They were like mercenaries, whose job it was to guard that area. That they were like Fey descended, and they're kind of weird. And they were all grouped up in like pods of 5, with like one fancy man.
One fancy man per party.
Mm-hmm. And
and Bartleby was squishing them left and right.
Yes.
And some cool stuff in the battle.
Yeah, some of us did some really cool stuff. Saye.
I ran up some platforms and I leaped while he was hanging from the ceiling. So I leaped from some platforms, thrusting my short sword like into the bottom of his skull, chin.
It was like stage 2, he went invisible and wound up on the ceiling.
Yes. And then someone else finished him off, or who finished him off?
I think Montgomery did.
Well, you also met Montgomery. Who? What did you find out about him?
He was posed as one of the Darklings at first, and so that made it very odd when then he suddenly revealed himself. But he was casting all kinds of like illusions and charms, and he was hiding behind a column a lot of the time.
Yeah. So eventually all of you brought down Bartleby, and he had basically gotten into a position where he's like, okay, I'll talk. And then... Yeah,
they tried to strike a deal, and then I was like, fuck this, I'm sick of waiting. So I struck him from the back and finished him.
Well, and then Arnadel really brought us home. Would you like to talk about that, girl?
Yes. I would.
I think there was some aggression that Arnadel got out. Yeah,
yes.
Please.
Arnadel had taken it very personally that she didn't listen to her intuition. She knew better. So that was actually most of the frustration. Not so much that, yeah, he was evil and terrible, but it was her. She took her anger out on herself. That anger from herself onto Bartleby's little tiny miniaturized body. And he hurt her friends, so that's what happens with that.
So with Bartleby resolved, you had been able to investigate the glowing doors, and what had you found out? You couldn't just get through them, you needed something else.
We needed we needed. So Montgomery and myself, Sayeb, went to, we discovered that those platforms led up to like some secret pathway into Sylvar's
mansion.
And we managed to get rid of the servants want the locket. It was a locket or a necklace of some kind.
It was a locked box that you found in the office.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wasn't there something in the box?
The amulet.
Yeah, an amulet. An amulet in the box that said someone of the same kin can wield it.
Only one of the blood.
One of the blood. See, I'm paraphrasing all over the place.
Only one of the blood can wield it, and it had been written in Sylvan, which is the language of the fairy people.
Oh, yes.
So Montgomery had not been able to touch it, but somehow you, Saye, were.
Mm-hmm. So we went back down into the big shiny glowy doors, opened them up.
And what did you see?
I'm talking a lot. Please take
over.
This
was your sweet ass fucking thing. You should definitely share this.
Okay.
Yeah, I just hit shit. Whatever.
Alright, so we opened the doors, and inside, like, this massive cage contraption seemed to be a very ancient elemental goddess, and she was trapped and with, like, things attached to her body or form, like, draining her of her power. She asked
piping. It was literal, like, plumber piping had been stuck into her and was draining her body. Fluid away to other places. Yeah.
What we suspected was how Sylvar was giving water to the town by draining this evil water elemental of her substance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like trying
fucking ape shit over there.
I don't know if you can see my face as I'm trying to stay composed. I'm texting Brian like, please get the fucking dogs out of here.
He's good. He's on it.
Okay, thank you.
Hey everybody, that's Brian.
Everybody says hi to Brian.
The hero of the hour.
Hi everybody.
To take care of that crazy ass dog.
Fucking dog fight. That's.
Oh, but she's so cute.
This is why I like cats, because this is all she does. Like, whatever.
Hey, my cats are not that way. I apologize for everybody for episode 21 part 2. There's a significant chunk where my cat is just screaming for like 2 minutes, and there's nothing I can do about it to get it out.
That's good. I'm sure it'll maybe
It'll enhance the
add to
drama.
the atmosphere.
That's what I'm counting on. I'm like, ah!
Lucy's the one that picks fights. Like, Snacks just kind of lies there, and he lies on his side. He doesn't even like stand up to fight back. He's just like, and Lucy's like trying to go at him. She wants to hump him, and she's spayed. Like, she does not have any hormones in her body. She just likes to dominate. She thinks she's little. She's 10 pounds, and she thinks she's like in charge.
Feisty.
Dominate
monsters. Gives him a back
though.
scratch after too. No, she does.
All right. Yes. So we had seen this trapped water elemental. Then around her body, she'd had this strange iron-looking cage kind of apparatus.
Harness
It was
thing.
almost like a what are those
Straight
coats?
jacket.
Yes, it was like almost like a straight jacket sort of lattice metal contraption around her. And Saye, she had spoken to you.
Oh yeah, she said some shit about your mom. But good stuff,
She
not like
named your mom.
Like,
But-
fuck your
She
mom.
knew your mom by name.
All right. Yeah, she did. My mom's name, Maheen.
Mahin.
Yeah, daughter of Maheen is what she called me, and asked for my help. Said that I was the only one who could help her, and she would need my body, I guess, to get out of the cage.
Basically,
So
you had to keep her soul for a time to allow her to escape the physical bonds.
yes, I took no notes because I was just so in shock of what was happening. I was just kind of very into the moment.
Okay.
But
Take it as a compliment.
yeah. So as soon as I agreed to do it, I basically started blacking out, and she rushed into me, and I started spewing water out of my mouth, like drowning, filling up my lungs with water. And then the whole room started flooding, I think. And
When I grabbed your
Arnadell,
asses and got the fuck out of there.
yeah.
I didn't even
You used
the wand. Yeah, I
Teleport
didn't even ask
wand.
questions. I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
And not only did you use the teleport wand, but you used the teleport wand that you were warned only to use in dire need, because teleporting goes really, really weird here out in the wastes.
It's
And
like
we
a-
learned that
It's
lesson.
like a no
Do you all
reception
remember?
zone, right? Like,
Yeah, it's like totally cross-wired. Do you all remember
yeah.
where you all woke up? Oh, Sage, you're muted.
And I'm in the middle of the jungle right now, like, slashing through some dense vegetation, like, I fucking hate this fucking place!
Yes. And where had you awoken, Arnadell?
On a beach.
Hmm? Big old beautiful beach.
Got your corona,
Arnadell
You
doesn't drink
ready?
light beer. Let me tell you that.
Of course not.
Where
You're
did I
not.
wake up?
Don't you remember? Somebody saved you.
You're like a water goddess now, basically. You got crazy powers.
You had woken up inside of a thatched hut, and
That's
a face of some strange woman or creature had been looking over you concernedly and speaking in a language that you do not understand.
Okay.
All right, so here we're gonna go. What's gonna happen? I don't even know. So you all are separated right now. So how we're gonna do this? We're gonna jump from scene to scene, and I will let you know. So Saye, we're gonna start with you.
All right.
So you are immediately the first thing you notice is what you feel like hell. You feel like you've had the worst headache of your whole life, and you've been brought back from the dead. Your lungs are burning, your throat is burning, and you can actually see, like, on the bed around you, everything is wet, and there's a bunch of salt water across this mat thing that you're on. So as if, like, you've just been puking up water, and it's covering you, and that sticky feeling of, like, salt is all over you.
Mm.
And
Feeling all crusty.
yeah, you feel terrible. And the inside of this hut, it's very small, so it's got to be, like, 10 by 10 is like the entire space of this thing. So you're on the mallet, the pellet.
Pallet.
Matt?
Pallet? A pallet?
Pallet? Yeah. Good. That pallet in one corner of the room, and then you see a small fire pit with a stove top and a smoke hole leading out. And this creature that was leaning over you, concerned, now that your eyes are flickering open, she's kind of taken a few steps back and doesn't really seem to know if you're going to hurt her or what's going on. But it is a creature never seen before. This thing has sort of grayish skin on it. It's but you can see it's covered in a little bit of peach fuzz all over its body, and it's kind of got this wide flat nose and these long pointed ears and this like black kind of tuft of hair. It looks sort of like a cross between animal-esque creature and like these big like yellow eyes, a very gentle looking creature, and it's wearing this just very plain kind of leather garments, and it sort of backs up away from you. And it's big. It's about 7.5 feet tall.
Yeah, I'm kind of picturing like a giant bat.
Sort of like
Batty!
That. It looks a lot like that. And it just goes over into the corner of the room and makes kind of this hesitant like vocal gesture towards you, but it's in a language that you have no idea what it's saying. And it sort of, it looks at you and is like making gestures like, can it come closer? Or yeah, it's like,
is there a point to making like some kind of knowledge check? Or I've definitely like I've never seen anything like this.
Sure, yeah, go ahead and make a knowledge check.
Knowledge of history or nature?
Nature would be better.
19.
Oh shit. Okay. So maybe you have seen a picture of something like this before in a book or something. You recognize the name of this creature as, it's called a furbolg. So, furbolg.
They're so nice.
So these creatures are very, very rarely seen in human settlements because they are creatures that really are in tune with nature, and usually they have their own tribes and live in far remote regions. A very peaceful people, more interested in trees than anything else. But that's kind of all that's known about them. You don't think anybody in your circle has ever seen one or come across one, and you would have no idea where to start with like customs.
Okay. I will attempt to say, where am I? And just kind of gesture to the scenery and like to my head, like, I don't know where I am.
Yeah. So she is, you get a vaguely female sense from her, and she's wearing this long kind of dress skirt thing, and she kind of sits down on her haunches, so she's more eye level with you because you're so tiny to her. And
tiny human.
Yeah, and she touches her head in the same way you did and looks around and looks a little bit confused and then points at you, and then over like vaguely where your heart is, she makes like a pumping gesture and then points at the water and like your mouth was, and it's outside, and then at you, and then at her, and then the hut.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so she brought me in here. She didn't perform CPR.
You pumped your stomach.
Yeah. Okay.
And she sort of, she makes like a really concerned gesture at you and is sort of like, and she points at your chest and like Ray makes a shrugging.
Shruggy emoji.
Even though I can still feel the lingering effects, I'm just like trying to nod like, yes, I'm okay, it's fine. And like I do like the hands together, subtle bow as a trying to thank her.
Yeah. She smiles, and kind of looks around the hut like she doesn't quite know what to do with you next. And she sort of stands up and offers her hands to you, and then like the other shruggy gesture, like seeming to ask if you want to come with her. or if you feel okay.
Okay, I'll take her hands.
Yeah. You feel awful, but you're okay. You've had better days, and then you've also taken a shitload of damage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. You feel like you drowned. You did drown, and she brought you back somehow. As you stand up and get another glance at the hut, you actually see on the far end of the room there's this large glass tank structure, so it looks like an empty fishing tank. And inside there's like when you go to a reptile room and there are all these like twigs and stuff in there, and as you're looking by it, you actually see the sudden flurry of movement, and you see a snake that like shoots across and jumps on another ledge, and then you actually see a pair of wings unfurl from its back.
Whoa.
And it's sort of like staring at you, and she makes a gesture like don't mind, and and leads you out the door. Britt, do we have the village image up?
No, thank you for reminding me. I this whole time I've been trying to sync our audio and video, so I've been very, very preoccupied.
Are we good to go? Do you need us to pause?
No, it's the best I can do right now, because I can't actually... I'm guessing what I see through OBS is what is being streamed, because it is lagging from what I'm looking at, but it's... I went all the way up to 2,000, and now I'm back down to 900, and I think 900's the sweet spot, so pardon me.
Yeah, pardon everyone. We're figuring out some new technologies, so it'll mean higher quality from here, but...
Yeah, we are taking baby steps. Yeah, baby steps to improvement.
Ian says it looks better now.
Thank you, Ian. Thanks for looking out. Sage.
Your favorite. Don't tell the other people in the chat.
NBD.
All right, so she leads you out, and this image of a map, or a little village comes out to mind. So it's cool now. We have little pictures that I'm going to throw up in you guys can't see them, but I guess Sage can. But so
I'm the only one who can.
I can't either, so I'm just trusting. So as you take a step outside, you see that there are a bunch of these little huts that are clustered around and been kind of built in this two-tiered level, and you instantly like hear the ocean off to your side. And so this little village has been built up right on the edge of the beach, and all around you, you are immediately hit with this hot, humid tropical air. As you step outside, it's just like the moisture, everything. It's just so different from where you were before in this dry, kind of arid place. And then you see these towering green trees, rainforest all around this village. Just looks like it's been kind of like snuck in there. And you see all along the edge of the shore are fishing boats that have been pulled up. And you see a lot more people who look like the woman whose hut you've been in are kind of wandering around. A few of them are working on nets, sitting on the beach. A few little versions of them, so children are running about. So you see probably about 20 of these individuals just kind of hovering around. And looking at the sky, it seems to be about 4 p.m. right now. Yeah, so she kind of steps back and like puts her hands together and looks at you expectantly.
I want to try and draw like a crude map of the world or the continent as I know it, and then gesture with my stick at the map, and then at our surrounding areas, and then again at the map, as if just like, you know where we are?
Yeah, she sees you start to do that and then puts out her hands for you to stop and then takes you back inside and gives you a piece of paper.
Oh, okay.
She like pulls some paper out of her drawer, and actually very sophisticated looking. Like it doesn't really look like it belongs in this kind of rustic settlement. And she has you do that. So you draw, well, I don't know if you've ever seen a map of the continent.
As I know it, I'm drawing.
Yeah, go ahead and make an intelligence check. Let's see how well you communicate this.
Oh, not that good.
Oh, I'd also do a survival check. Would work for me. Map making.
Okay, that's better. That's 19.
Oh, that's a lot better. Okay. Yeah. So you're trying to draw like where the Elysium Keep is, like Bastard's Breach, and that, and like your general kind of outline. and the woman just keeps nodding at you like, that's so... what? She seems very confused, and she kind of takes your paper and draws like the edge of like where the continent is, and then she goes like way out like where the water would be and draws a little island. And points at it and then around. And
okay, I think I can gather what she means by that.
And then she looks at you frustrated. It seems like she has a question she really wants to ask you. And then she just devolves into just trying to draw again. So it's like going to be Pictionary up in here. She goes and she draws like an image of a little person and like points at you and then puts a big sword in their hand and looks at you and is like holding up her hands like, is question?
I erased the sword and put like fighting, like two fists.
Okay.
And then I draw like two other people to indicate I was with other people.
Oh, okay.
And I had a little party.
And she, yes, thoughtfully scratches her chin, and she draws this image of another person with a sword, except with a mean face on it. Oh. And then she draws a bunch of little tiny huts, and she like points at this scene, and then like points at the image of you with your fists up, and then points at the angry people. And she looks at you, and she's just getting so frustrated at this point. She's like, she like takes the paper and
me
like,
too. Me too.
Okay. And we're gonna jump. We're gonna actually jump over to another scene. So we're gonna jump over to an image of a. Oh, let's jump to you, Arnadel. Actually.
Right on.
All right. So we have a scene of a long sandy beach sandbar out in front of us. So it's about 4 o'clock. Wherever you are, you immediately feel that tropical heat all around you, except mixed with this tingling, very pleasant, like, sea breeze as you're looking out on the edge of the sandbar. So you've probably got about a mile walk back to mainland. And blue water all around you. It's beautiful, but that's all you see in almost every direction, just stretching on. And then you turn back behind you, and down the sandbar, you see this vast big rainforest that's kind of piling up in front of you. So you're definitely on a small island of some kind that seems to have this tropical canopy in the middle of it. Can you make a perception check for me, please?
Can do. Sorry. I'm gonna get my dice. Stand by. Tight.
Good job. Get your dice out.
I know.
No, you had like...
No, I have them out. I just had to dig it out. So it's really, really fucking high. It's like a 19 plus 6. So 25.
Oh, shit. Yeah. So, yeah, you can definitely spot the sand all around you is just fine white sand, almost completely undisturbed. So this really stands out to you about a mile down. So where the beach starts to mingle with the trees, you actually see this black kind of wooden shape that seems to have been like dragged up onto the beach, and it just looks like a clusterfuck pile about a mile away from you, but you can't tell exactly what it is, but it looks maybe like a ruin of a boat or something. So you are standing on the sandy beach. Oh, and beneath your feet, you actually see scattered around you are these small shards of wood. You would recognize a lot of very broken pieces of a very broken teleportation wand.
Oh,
looks like it's.
Yeah, I believe that it probably blew up since we got scattered to the winds.
Yeah. You see a bunch of chunks of it are missing, but there's enough of the handle left on the ground for you to identify.
Okay, I was like, I'm not gonna do anything with that.
Yeah.
Ooh, what do I do? I guess I go. So the Piley ruin is that in the opposite direction of the trees, the tree line?
No, it's towards the tree line. So right now you're standing just on like a bar like the edge with all just fucking water around you wherever you look. Every once in a while you hear the call of a gull from somewhere up above you and you see seabirds moving across, but there's fucking nothing else.
I'm gonna walk towards that pile. Yeah.
So the sand is hot. Your arid, adventuring gear, your desert garb isn't made for this, and immediately sweat is already like coating your face and pouring down your back. You're walking. Oh, even in just your pseudo-European medieval gear, this is like fucking terrible. Worse. Yeah, it's worse than the humidity. Desert. Yeah, so your boots keep getting like sinking into the sand, and it's fucking miserable. This is tropical climate, baby. Yeah, so eventually you get to the edge, and Alistar on your back is just like whining at this point and trying to he scoops himself down into your hood to get out of the sun, but then he keeps climbing back out because it's so hot and he just can't.
Well, I tell him.
Yeah.
I kind of tell him because now I'm linked to him telepathically.
Yes, new
so
power.
I just kind of like, baby, just fly. Like, just fly. You're probably gonna feel better if you just fly. I'm hot. You're picking up my fucking body heat.
Can he talk back to you?
I don't know. Can he?
I don't know. You would have to tell me that. I don't think so.
I mean, this would be your call because I don't.
I don't know.
Yes,
until further
yes,
notice,
I can. It says I can communicate telepathically with my familiar and perceive through. Yeah,
so
okay. I can talk to him.
No, and perceive through their eyes. I don't think he's smart enough to speak a language, but you can
through
get.
Their senses.
He's yeah, you can gather what he's scattering. And he seems a little bit relieved, and so he takes off. And kind of does this hop, testing his wings out in this air, and he whines again and kicks some sand up, like cats do when they're upset in their litter. And then takes off and is sort of patrolling around you. So eventually you reach this structure, and you do indeed see that it is a small sailboat of a kind, but it's been painted black. And all of the wood is this very strange kind of glossy, almost ebony-looking wood. Nothing that would make a lot of sense for a sailboat. And you see that there are these two giant iron rings that have been attached to the front of the boat with these two sets of chains that looks like harnesses for some creatures. Two things that on this boat. And you just see these big iron harnesses lying empty now. On the shore. They look like yolks for a cart, except on a boat. And you see, this boat clearly has got a hole in it, and it hit bad times and is broken now in the ruins of it on the ship.
Can I do maybe a history
investigation?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I guess I want to investigate the boat. I don't know what I just kind of want to look at it and investigate.
Investigate would be poking around, seeing if there's anything left behind, looking for clues. Looking for clues is what investigation is.
That's what investigators do.
Goddamn Scooby
Damn, I'm rolling great. 17 plus 6.
No, you've already gotten 2 19s.
7.
What? A 23? All right, so you're poking around this boat.
It's so annoyed when we do well.
Don't you want us to find cool shit?
See, how dare you succeed?
Yeah. So you actually see that the boat, it was probably a fairly sized thing at some point. There's actually a small cabin that's now been kind of collapsed, into the side of it. So definitely looking at it, you think the boat probably hit a reef or hit rocks at some point. So it was an accident that this boat crashed. And then as you're kind of poking around the inside of the cabin, there's not much left. The water has taken over a lot of it, but there seems to be there was a bed in here and a desk, and you see some barrels that have been kicked over, but it looks like somebody has picked it clean. But enough room for probably 1 or 2 people to very comfortably travel at a great distance. You do see that all along the inside of the boat, everything has been done in colors of black and scarlet, which is a really weird
it's an
choice.
Intense color scheme.
Ominous.
For this whole boat looks like a really intense, like, macabre nightmare.
When you mean picked clean, am I safe to assume that like a passenger manifest or even a captain's log would probably not be there? Like the drawers are open and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, you'd be safe to assume it. You would get the sense that whoever crash landed here probably took a bunch of stuff and left.
Yeah, they survived and grabbed their trunk. So I don't find anything.
Took what they could.
Just weird, terrible decoration palette.
Terrible decor.
I must put as much distance between me and this awful piece of crap as possible.
Yeah, and whatever was attached to these harnesses is clearly no longer there either.
Okay, you know how like a yolt kind of understanding how that works, and you can kind of see where on the animal it would go. Does this look like it is an animal that I would recognize, or?
Make a survival check, because that would be dealing with like saddling or animal handling.
Okay. That's gonna be a 12.
Okay. So looking at these saddles, things, you can definitely. You don't think they were made for any creature with 4 legs. Just the way they're assembled, and they seem to have like this slip fit feature.
I mean, it's a sea creature.
So you're not even sure. Yeah, you're not even sure something with legs.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'd be more concerned if it fit something with legs.
Yeah.
That would be very odd.
Oh my god, they're Jesus voices.
Cool.
I say the name.
Then I head towards the jungle. I want to get out of the sun.
Oh, my uncle and my grandmother are watching right now. That's really intense, you guys.
Aww.
Hi, family. I love you. Okay, what were we doing? Yeah, so you're gonna, head off towards the jungle. Fantastic. All right, and then we're gonna switch our scene to Kara, who is just having a great time traipsing through the middle of this Amazonian forest. So all around you, there are vines everywhere, and trees and roots. It's like you woke up and you were just flung in the middle of this giant screw you jungle. Your hair already has expanded to 3 times its normal size.
It is full on afro.
Your helmet is the only thing keeping it at bay, and even that is threatening to pop up at any moment.
Yeah.
All right, so all around you, there's clearly no path anywhere. It looks like you were just plopped in the middle of this jungle around you. So make a perception check for me.
All right. Ooh, okay. That's a 17.
Okay. So looking all around you, immediately catching your attention from various vines or canopy up above is the sound of movement, shaking of branches, the cawing of strange birds from up above you. So this forest is very much active. And the trees, so the tree line is way, way above your head. But you can see various shapes that seem to be hopping around in the branches up above you. You don't feel very safe.
Okay. Well, because it's so fucking hot, she's actually she's gonna take off her armor and just wear her desert outfit, so she's not gonna suffocate under like her plate mail.
Yeah. All right. So you're gonna it'll probably take you like 10 minutes to get it off.
Yeah.
5 to 10. Yeah.
So she does that. And then she's gonna immediately start trying to search for like the nearest river or lake or body of water, because that's where civilizations tend to be.
Yeah. Alright, go ahead and make a survival check.
Ooh, that's gonna be pretty sweet. Let me pull my character sheet. 21.
Okay. So as you're standing around and trying to get your bearings, you notice you're kind of on a vague, like, decline. So the decline would be leading towards the south. So you're thinking, well, probably if water is going to run down somewhere, that's more likely to encounter it. So you kind of pick your direction and start, like, heading up, like picking up your gear. And as you turn around, you hear sound, and you see actually this large monkey shape of something you've never seen is actually picking up one of your gauntlets in its hands and like staring at the shiny, and it like hisses at you, and these giant fucking fangs like are revealed as it goes, and you can see these strange blue stripes on its face, and it takes the gauntlet in its hand and tries to scurry away.
I immediately pull out a hand axe and fucking chuck it. And
alright, let's roll initiative.
Yes, 22. Fuck you, monkey. That's my shit.
You would have no idea what kind of monkey this is, but...
It's fucking, it doesn't even matter. It's awful. That's what it is.
It doesn't matter. I hate it. Okay. Alright, you were definitely going first.
Alright, yeah. So she immediately just whoosh and like tosses that hand axe as like hard as she can possibly throw it.
Alright, roll to hit the monkey.
I got a 13.
Yeah, so you sink that into its flesh, and as it does, it doesn't even have time to scream as your hand axe just rends it into pinning it to the ground, so you hear the scattering of the gauntlet like as it rolls across the ground, and that's the only moment of peace you get before you hear from up above as all of these monkeys start to climb down from the trees.
What have I done?
Slain their brother. Alright, anything else you would like to do on your turn? You killed that fucking monkey.
Oh, I have a question. So when we were out in the desert, I also picked up one of those spears, which you said were magical, but we had not ascertained about any of their properties.
They were all +1, and then since they have hooks on the other end, you get advantage on grappling checks if you're using these spears.
Nice. Alright, yeah. That is totally the thing that I want to grab out of my pack to...
Warrior Kara! I just imagine you flipping around.
Yeah, she grabs her shield and her spear and is like, "Oh, Valkyries, inspire me in my plight against these foul creatures."
Creatures of blackest hell. Alright, great. And then, so a baboon is going to run and jump from down the trees. You're actually going to be attacked by a few. So they're swarming you. Okay, I'm guessing an 11 doesn't hit, or a 4, or a 15.
Nope.
Wait, without your plate on?
Oh, actually a 14 might. 10 plus, no, 14 would match. So my AC is 14 without my
one of them hits you. Oh, I'm sorry. They all get advantage. Let me try again.
Screw you, monkeys. No one likes
so
it.
Two are gonna hit you. Hey, the monkeys like each other. You killed their buddy. Okay, let me find. Wow, this is garbage damage. So 3 monkeys are just falling on top of you, and they're clawing at you in your face, and they're all up in your business, so they're giving each other advantage with their pack tactics. So you get a monkey bite, 3 damage, piercing damage.
Alright.
And then one damage from another monkey biting into you and clawing, and they're screaming. It's some of the loudest shit you've ever heard. You ever heard baboons at the zoo when they get pissed?
I can't stand that.
Actually, Arnadel, could you make a perception check for me?
Hear this ruckus from the distant forest.
24.
Yeah, somewhere off in the distance, a bunch of fucking monkeys are freaking out. It's terrifying. Yeah, but you can hear it. Alright, and then, Kara.
Alright. So I use my bonus action to go into my rage because you better believe she's fucking pissed. not gonna put up with this shit. Alright. And then, as per her new awesome fighter ability, she's gonna use an action surge to get an additional action and bonus action on top of her regular action.
Damn.
And then, okay.
So ready, Kara's so ready for blood.
Yes. All right. So then it's gonna. All right. Okay. So she's gonna. She's just gonna take her spear, and stab at whichever one she can possibly hit first.
They're all pretty like close up in your shit. So yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pick a monkey. Any monkey.
Monkey. Ooh, that's a 20. And not a natural one, but a regular one.
Yeah, you hit that monkey.
Alright. It's gonna take 7 damage.
You kill that monkey.
That's right, fuck you, monkey. And then for her second attack, she's gonna turn and go for the next one.
Ah, monkey slaughter.
Fuck them monkeys up.
Exactly. She's gonna eat well. She's gonna stop and have a lunch after this.
A light lunch. Light baboon bologna.
Seriously, 16 to hit for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, which is going to be 12 damage.
Yeah, you kill that monkey.
And then, for her second bonus action, she's gonna take her shield and she's gonna ram into the next closest one and use her shield to knock it prone. So a contested strength check between them.
Against a monkey. Let's go. Oh my god. It rolled a natural 20.
I get advantage. So let's see.
What a dumb natural 20. Where were you last game?
Oh, no natural 20.
The monkey just like slaps your shield. It just is like, no! And it's like the biggest monkey of them all. And it just looks at all of its fallen friends around it and lets out a final ah! And then goes and like charges and sails off towards the nearest tree.
I want to throw my spear at it as it leaps away.
Okay, yeah. Get your attack up.
12.
Yeah, you hit that monkey. God.
I rolled an 8 on my damage,
so Kara
14.
just killed 4 baboons in the span of 6 seconds. 12 seconds, you guys. Alright, woo! And you are, like, you have scratches on your face now, and one of them managed to get a bite into your shoulder, so you're just feeling even worse about this freaking jungle.
She's just, like, having her, like, bottom jaw sticking out. She's just, like, panting, like... Yeah.
And then you just kind of pick yourself up and keep heading in that southerly direction.
Oh, and she makes a point to grab all of her weapons that are in monkeys.
Yes. Cool.
Clear their carcasses.
Alright.
Apparently Roxanne is crying that I'm killing all the monkeys.
Oh my god, they attacked her first! My sister is a vegan and loves animals and is watching this stream. Of all the ones to watch, this is not good, I promise you. It'll just get worse. Alright, welcome to the jungle. We've got fun and games!
Exactly.
We've definitely killed animals before in this game.
And we've eaten a lot of bacon.
We have eaten like a shocking amount of bacon. That's kind of our trope.
We're adventurers. We need it.
We need that protein. All right, Nassim, we're gonna slide back to you. So you've been playing Pictionary with this Furbulg for a while, and after you know there's a certain level of communication you can't reach with just drawing pictures and describing this, she takes you back out to the village again. And she kind of walks you around the periphery of it, and she points out it seems like these people have built these wooden fences, almost like it's this hastily built like defensive measure that they've tried to put around this town. And as they're pointing there, and she goes and she shows you that there are claw marks and like teeth on the outside of them.
Hmm.
So she's clearly trying to show you it looks like something has been attacking the village. And the people of the village don't seem to be scared of you. They're a little bit hesitant, but they're all sort of curious, but keep their distance. They seem a very unique sort of polite people.
Alright.
Yeah.
Can I just start shouting out hello in all the languages I know, which is just 3 now?
What are the languages you know?
Common, Draconic, and Auckland.
Yeah. So you start doing that, and she goes wide-eyed, and her ears actually go flat against her head as you start screaming, and she's just got her hands on her chest, like she doesn't quite know what to do about that.
Just shouting in the middle of the village, hello, hello.
Yeah. And she points at your temple and gives that shrugging gesture.
And I give the never mind. I'm shaking my head. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Well, and then she leads you again and takes you back out to the edges of this town, and she points out like where all the scratching and damage was to the wall. She points her way down that, and you can see like there's this beaten kind of passage moving through, like the trampling of large feet or many feet coming from a distance, and she points off. And then she takes that crumpled paper again and like points at the image with the sword and points at you.
Yeah.
The bad guy and points.
Yeah. I can figure her village is in trouble and something is going on and they're being attacked. So I tell her, yes, I point at the sword nodding, yes, yes. And I say, like, walking towards the path, like, I'm gonna go now.
Oh, she points at the two images of your friends.
And I do this. I raise my hands and my shoulders. I don't know. I have to, like, go find them.
And she looks down and ushers you to come back. And then a wait symbol. And she goes off and talks to a couple members of the village. And you actually see, so 2 of these forms who look like males, so they're even taller than her, so they're about 8 feet tall, but they're all kind of like stooped over and that sort of friendly, like gentle giant, like they're really insecure about how small you are, so they're trying to look smaller. And they go up, to the edges of town. And actually one of them, he just extends his hand and says like this word and like makes like a blowing a kiss gesture out to the town, and you actually see these 2 small multicolored birds. They're like these bright like sherbet orange and yellow birds just descend and land on the edge of his palm, and he seems to whisper something to them, and they like cheep back at him, and he just makes that gesture off, and the birds go flying off.
Oh my god. I want to frolic after them.
They are flying top speed. They seem to be sending some kind of message or something. And Kara, sure enough, after you've been tromping around for about 30 more minutes in this fucking, now you're sure you're covered in bug bites. You've just gotten like feeling of all these mosquitoes and twigs in your hair, and you've like having a hard time with your short legs crawling over everything. And
fucking this fallen tree stumps and shit, and it's like.
Yeah, and you just begin to hear this chattering sound, and you see this little bird like lands up on a branch that's definitely above your head, but the bird kind of chirps and moves back and forth, and then when you sort of like ignore it, it like flies in front of your vision again.
Oh, first it's an owl, and now it's this weird little colorful bird. There, I feel like there's a theme. What do you want, bird? I walk towards it.
Yeah, it goes hopping backwards and flies to the next branch and sort of waits.
And I'm like, oh, here we go again.
I know.
I hope this one doesn't lead to a carnival of death too.
I guess I do use bird messengers a lot. I could have sent a tiny squirrel, I suppose.
They're our group spirit animal.
We do use a lot of birds. It's kind of like the Venture Maiden MO. Bird messengers. One of these days I'll send you guys a deer. It'll be crazy. So this bird is definitely beginning to lead you off to somewhere. And I would send one after Brittany, but... Brittany, come back.
Here we go.
Here we go. Alright, you follow this bird, and eventually you see smoke on the edges of a village coming to you. Brittany! You had a tiny bird sent for you. Sorry,
I had to unmute. I also had to change because I'm seriously burning up. Tight.
Yeah, dude.
What kind of bird?
So it's one of those tiny little, they look like, they're little songbirds out of those, like, sherbet orange and, like, canary yellow
Like a finch?
colors. Like that big yellow chest. Yeah, it's like a little finch.
Oh, no, you're
so
thinking
as you're
of
just...
a lovebird.
Is that one? Like the pink and the
There's-
orange? I don't know.
Peach-
Roxanne,
peach-
you're trained
a
with
peach-faced
birds. If you're on the
lovebird.
stream, okay.
The more
my
you
sister
know.
is also a bird expert.
Roxanne and I are going to be
So,
homies because I'm a bit of a bird.
yeah, birds are kind of our thing.
I do
Can't
love
lie.
them.
You didn't get
Yeah.
that.
Got them tattooed
Okay.
all over my body.
So one of these little birds, as you're coming to the edge of this tree line and just like settling on you how hard traversing is going to be, this little bird appears to you and is like, and seems to be trying to lead you down the beach, so like skirting the very edges of this forest line leading to
Is
the
that
south.
in the same direction as where I heard the monkey screams?
The monkey screams were sort of in the general center direction. This bird seems to be picking a path for you that skirts
Okay.
like the end.
I look at Alistar and I'm like, because I feel like if it says you can communicate telepathically with your familiar, that means I can communicate with it.
Yeah. Until we get the language thing, I'm not really sure. It's like if one of you could look up pseudo dragon in the MM, we can see if it speaks common.
I think they
but
understand.
for now, you get the sense,
okay, so
you get the sense that he looks at the bird and you get like a hungry.
I'm like, no.
He's looking.
Fritz,
he's like delicious.
No, you're not gonna eat it. I'll feed you.
You have to be like focus.
I pull out a thing. Because I have rations. I give him a bit of my rations and to feed him. And then I follow the bird.
Yeah, and the bird begins to lead you across the beach and moving in a southerly direction. So Saye, while you're sort of waiting for this all to happen, the man who sent out the bird sort of looks back at you and looks out and gives like this like eye-rolling gesture, like points at the sky and is like
small talk through gesture.
yeah, like
Nice weather we're having.
yeah.
Yeah.
He points at your shirt and gives you like a thumbs up.
I'm just like nodding, like yeah, true. The weather, my shirt, and I figure we're waiting for something to happen. So I just hang out patiently and trying to do some stretches to see if I can, if I have the mobility, if I'm in shape, and if I can move.
Yeah, the fur folks are totally fascinated. They're like, whoa, like watching you do your cartwheels and stuff. They're all kind of sitting around, and some of the younger ones come and like hang out for a bit. And so after these birds are leading you for about an hour before.
Do we get our health back? Is that considered a rest for me?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, for you, it would be a short rest. For Kara and Arnadel, not so much, since they're tromping through. This is very not restful. But the birds seem to be leading you on an easier path as you're going along.
Cool.
And because it's Dungeons and Dragons, and because things are magic, eventually you all find each other. It's amazing. You pop out of the woods, and suddenly you all see this settlement in front of you, and Saye is doing cartwheels with this surrounding group of humanoids that you've never... What? You're like these kind of gray, fuzzy, bat-looking people all around, and you just, as you tromp out of the woods, all of these like golden-eyed people just look up at you, and they look at you, Saye.
Yes, they're my friends. She starts clapping, and she's like, yeah, she goes up to them to hug them.
Okay, great. Yeah, and all of them are sort of like, yeah.
Hello.
And they start speaking again, fervently. And Arnadel, you don't have a problem understanding them at all. They're speaking Elvish.
Right on.
Oh.
I am so excited. I'm like, Oh, I understand you. I speak Elvish too.
Oh, and they point that you're like, oh,
Yay!
yes, and oh, finally, we thought perhaps humans have forgotten the language of the people.
Arnadel is just like,
and this
so...
is the woman who was hanging out with you.
Arnadel's like, oh, mad respect, like, oh my god, like, bows deeply and just, like, takes her hand. I'm like, I'm so glad to hear my mother tongue.
Yeah. You definitely, Arnadel, have heard of furbolgs. A lot of the ancient nature magic that elves have always prized, these people are, like, the living representation of that. They're basically just a step away from being dryads or nature spirits. They're guardians. They love their trees and their nature, and that's what they do.
I want to, from this point on, the way that I interact and behave is just, like, deeply respectful. Just very, like, oh, like, that kind of language, right? Like, oh, fervent ones. Yeah, with lots of reverence.
You can tell when they speak to you, it's a very rustic form of Elvish, so it's probably not their native tongue, but it's what they were trying to speak in for an Outlander. They're like, well, this is the closest fucking reference we have.
What do they speak? Sorry?
They speak their own language.
Oh, right on.
And then Elvish.
Oh, I'm yeah, I'm waiting, essentially. We're talking, and...
Your friend, she arrived. She was in great peril. We found her on the beach and saved her. She appeared from the sky. Did the rest of you appear in such a manner?
I've already given a hug to Kara, by the way, because I'm very excited to see you alive and well, and that we're in the same spot. So,
a bunch of these creatures are also coming up to you, Kara, and are just like marveled by how
that hair
funny you are.
I am also much like I was marveling over the Tabashi. I am much like feeling the fuzz on their forearms.
Yeah, they're all about it, and they're like trying to help you and like pick the leaves out of your hair and like trying to.
We definitely look like baboons, like picking shit up.
Yeah, it's like, oh, what are you? It's
irony.
Mostly the kids are doing that. The adults seem to have some kind of like boundary, but the kids are your size.
Probably, I was about to say, they're probably
so cute.
Than I am.
They're like, oh, you're child.
So
dwarf. Let's
turning back to the furbolg. The furbolg that I was speaking with. I'm just like, oh yeah, it's a very long story. We were in a dire situation. I had one chance to save everyone's lives at the expense of it possibly backfiring and scattering us to the winds. So I'm so grateful that it turns out we are all on the same island. I hope we didn't cause too much of a commotion for your community. But our friend, we really need to see our friend. Can you please take us to her?
Oh, Saye? She's actually here.
Oh, word. Okay, I thought she was...
Yeah, I hugged you guys.
Sorry.
You guys.
Hugs to you, too.
Yeah. So you're all just standing, like, on the outside of this village, and this woman sort of looks down, and perhaps it is fortunate timing that you have come so suddenly from the skies, for our village, our people are in desperate peril.
Oh. Tell me all about it. I'll tell them later.
I want to interject. Saya wants to come in and pretend to be like the big one for figuring out like what's going on here, because she can sense the tone in the creature's voice. So she interjects and goes, "They need our help. They're under attack, and they need someone from outside to protect them. It is our duty to help these people."
Oh, Saya, she was just about to tell me the details, but yeah, I completely agree with you. Whatever they need us to do, I'm totally willing to help. I want to as well. I'm so glad to see you're okay. You really scared us.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Are we killing shit?
The woman and the two men standing on the beach are just looking back and forth at you, rapidly speaking in this other language and kind of looking at each other.
Well, they would know I need to relay this, right? Like, they're like, oh yeah.
Right. So. But they're not sure, like, what your excited tones
Yeah.
You know, it's
so I turn back and I'm like, okay, we absolutely. We have to like talk to Kara as well. Kara, we gotta help these people. Is that cool? You get to bash shit.
Okay.
I turn back to the Balrog and I'm like, yeah, we're Furbolg, sorry. Totally the opposite.
You guys would be way more fucked if there was a Balrog here right now.
I turn back to the Fulberg and I'm like, we're unquestioningly going to help you.
That is wonderful to hear, but perhaps this is another stranger came here, not like you, different. We tried to speak to help, but they did not want our help.
Were they dressed in red and black?
Yes. And they have magics that they take dead things and attack our village.
I don't need to make a check for that. I know what the fuck that is. Yeah. Arnadil's
we have held out against the dead things, but there is another settlement on the northern side of this island. We fear for them. We have not heard from them in many days.
So there's two creatures that you're concerned about.
This magic man who sends the dead, he comes with creatures.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, now I understand. Okay. Pause. I'm going to let the others know these details, and then I turn.
Yeah, you can just relay this.
I tell you guys everything. Yo.
Okay. Sounds great.
Saya.
If you could stop him or see what is happening to the others and let us know they are all right, we would be in your debt.
And I graciously bow again, and I'm like, we are in your debt. You've helped us thus far, and you've revived our dear friend and kept her safe and from dying. So we owe you eternally for this. And as an elf, I love what you do with nature. I'm just a huge fan. Huge fan.
Thank you, tree sister.
Shut up.
We have not seen one of your kind in many moons.
Stop it. Oh, God. That's enough. So I turn around. Sorry, that's like I'm like in real life. I'm like, oh my God. So I turn and all right, guys. We need to do this. Like, do you want to go now?
Yes. Not a moment to lose.
Go. I feel great.
I feel
By the way,
great about this.
Saya mostly wants to get away because, well, does she remember what happened to her?
Uh-huh.
She does? Okay, then.
You don't remember after you remember being in that room and then everything went black and the next thing you remember is being in that hut. So you're not sure, but you know you don't feel Olhydra with you anymore.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, she mostly wants to get away to be like, so what happened? Like, wow, why are we here? Where did we go? What happened?
I'm sure we want to fucking find out what happened to you too.
Yeah, so they point in the direction of the path in front of you. This is where the creatures have come from, but if you hang up around the beach here and then move up to the north, you should reach the other settlement within 2-hour time.
Thank you. I think we can do this. I turn to you guys and I'm like, Alistar can fly ahead and help us navigate.
Go in peace, friends. This magic man is dangerous.
I'm trying to offer a hug to the bat lady who.
Oh, she's totally into it. She picks you up and squishes
you,
and she's so soft.
I love it.
I'm going for it too.
They love hugs in nature.
Yeah,
they all do it. So once this starts, everybody is like just starting to hug each other, and then like the little birds come back and they're hanging out, and they're just like happy too to be there, and everybody's just so fucking happy to be there with you.
God, we're
all these kids love you. Yeah, Kara.
Kara is like standing off to the side, kind of awkwardly, like, "What's up?"
And they're like, "That's funny," and then they like scoop you and then hug you.
Yeah, once we hugged that one time, it's unlocked. It's like we broke the seal.
Yeah, it just unlocks. Like they're like, "Okay, this is fine in this culture."
I'm down. Arnadale's just so excited to meet a Furbolg. Thank you. A furball. Because
It's a hard word to say. Thank
he
you,
is
Bolo's
totally
guy.
right about those and was just like enamored, you know, the same way that in real life we're enamored with them because they're amazing. Okay, let's go.
Yee. All right, so you want to start heading up the beach path, or you want to go the jungle path?
The beach path.
Yeah,
Saya,
Kara
for
is
some
in
reason.
Kara insists on the beach path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to go there. Trust me.
Just do it my way. All right.
Saya is just suddenly having a stronger affinity towards the water than she did before.
Oh yeah, the ocean. It whispers to you sweet nothings. Like as you see it, you feel connected to it and just calmer and more a part of it. And it's strange, you know, you're beginning to notice now. You're not sure if it's because you woke up and you were in a bad place or like what was going on, but your skin actually feels cooler. It's like the humidity isn't affecting you as much as it should, or
Lucky.
Ooh.
God.
yeah. You just seem to maintain your inner balance a lot more.
Cool.
You
She
chill
thinks
it,
it's
you can chill at
because
your own water brew.
yeah,
What?
yeah. She's like, oh, it's just because I'm in a crop top. Like, that's it. You guys just need to wear less layers.
Really need to get in on this crap.
Wait, you're now unaware of your powers?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't used them. I mean, I've so far only spoken Aquan because I started shouting out in languages that I knew, and then Aquan came
You
out.
suddenly do that.
I guess you
Yeah.
wouldn't be aware of your abilities until like the moment needed to arise. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Right on.
yeah.
I'm trusting that to you as a interesting thing for yourself to discover or use or time or
Character development.
it's up to you. You have these things and you've never been touched with this has never happened to you.
Exactly.
You
I
have
don't
no
really
frame of
remember what
reference.
happened. So
It's
as
like when
okay.
it's like when you wake up and you suddenly know how to drive, or like what is it, like the Bourne series, right? He forgets whatever, and then he's a fucking spy.
He's like, oh,
He's
right,
like, oh,
I
could
can kick
shoot
so
a
much
gun
ass.
yeah, wow, look, I just broke that man's neck. I'm what? Yeah, I don't know.
I never
seen those
either.
movies.
I hear they're good though. So
I could just assume then as we're walking towards the path that they pointed out, you guys have at least filled me in on. I passed out and the thing possessed me for
yeah,
a brief
we
minute.
tell
We
tell you everything.
I'm gonna run and take a quick pee break.
Okay, then I'm gonna grab another beer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Break
I was
time.
preemptive. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I got my beer. Well, okay. Kara, did those monkey screams have anything to do with you?
Yes.
I thought so. I heard those I was probably like maybe a mile and a half away, and definitely heard those like way over there.
They're all dead now. They tried to take a grieve. And now they are grieving. Get it? I made a pun.
Ardenelle's laughing really hard. Because she's laughing super hard because she's so fucking happy to see you. Like,
I missed you too.
but yeah, there's
Audrey.
like a tear, you know, when people laugh just a little too hard because it's hiding something else, you know, like that kind of shit.
Yeah. Yep.
She's like, yeah, man, I bet you fucking killed those monkeys. Fuckers. I don't like monkeys. They're stressful.
Yes, they are little assholes, if you ask me.
Man. So, God, like, what do you think is this, like, you know, necromancy's like, I know you don't like magic, but necromancy's like, nobody likes that magic, man.
There was a reason why I don't like magic, and it's because of that. That's
That's why?
that's why I don't like magic.
Just,
you know, I had a very personal experience. You see, this other clan that tried to take over my clan, that I was supposed to marry this prince to, they was necromancers, and they were getting up the no good business and trying to ruin our good fortunes. And from that point, I just decided it's all bad.
Arnadel has so many mixed feelings right now.
Oh my god, my cat's being really cute, and she's like batting at my toes. It's like, cause I like always sit with my like leg up.
Oh,
she's
that's
like,
really cute. Oh my god.
Being all frisky.
She looks like a cartoon. She's all like. That's pretty darn cute.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
I can't even. This cat
silly.
is so ridiculously pretty.
So in response to what you just told me, Arnadel's like, like solemnly considering, mulling the information over and just like says, Kara, nobody likes necromancers. They're fucked up. And I'm sorry that happened, or almost happened to your clan.
Well, thanks for saying so.
Yeah.
Is role playing happening?
It's happening hard.
Oh Jesus!
We're talking about why Kara doesn't like magic.
Have you shared this information with us before?
No.
Well, you gotta say
You were
it
off
again.
peeing in the bushes.
Yeah, I had a little tinkle.
So Saya comes crashing back from the.
What?
God damn it! She feels so left out.
Wait, what?
No,
Sorry.
no, can't leave my feet alone.
So we did some role playing while you guys like.
Good.
Yeah.
Aw.
They did some role playing.
Kara and I discussed why Kara doesn't like magic and explained that necromancy was basically the root of that decision or reaction. It's more of a reaction, I guess.
Well,
it's almost the evil that almost brought her clan to their knees, and she almost had to marry into that nonsense of like, fuck you guys.
You're probably not gonna be real happy.
As
in a
we're
minute.
all you magic users.
Wait,
suck.
Arnadel has a brilliant thought in her head. She's like, ding. And she looks at Kara and says, Kara?
Yeah, sparkle eyes.
Kara, what if I could teach you to not be afraid of magic?
I don't know what to say to that.
What if I
don't
helped
know.
you out? Imagine if you could wield a spell or two. Maybe necromancy, maybe that would help you take care of some necromancers.
It's not that I'm afraid of magic. I am not afraid of anything. Lest you never forget.
No, I did not forget.
Except for snakes. Fuck snakes. They're awful.
Glad you didn't see
you
the little...
You didn't hear that. Don't tell no one, especially not Ram. I'll kill you.
I would never. Saya, we would never. We would never.
I just have a supreme distrust for magic.
Right. And that's why I feel like if I taught you some, maybe, because not all magic is bad. Obviously, we're friends.
Girl, I think you gotta teach me how to read first, because you got that fancy spell book, and I ain't know what none of that shit means.
That's true. Touche, my friend. I will teach you how to read, and then if you're still down, I would love to teach you one or two spells.
Okay. Okay, right. We'll see.
So this conversation is happening as you're traveling along this beach. So they estimated it would take you about 2 hours to get there walking along. So now it's about 6 p.m. Okay. The sun is beginning to set, so it's beautiful. I mean, out here, and so right now that immense heat you were feeling is actually dropping very, very quickly as the sun is coming in and you're getting those sea breezes on the edge. Saya, you don't seem to be as affected by the cold either. As you're making your way along these rapid
I love it here.
Yeah, you're like, this is the best.
Hey.
I'm totally meant for these tropical
Maidens.
resorts. Yeah.
I think we should probably not approach this establishment until the sun comes up. If I know anything about necromancy, shit goes down at night.
Okay. I mean, I feel like you guys should get arrested anyway.
You guys want to? You guys want to set up a camp like outside of the town?
Sure.
Do you want to wait till it comes into view? So you're thinking right now the beach actually going to make that decision a little bit for you. It kind of curves around, and all of a sudden you see that there's this settlement that pops up about a mile away from you. You see, so it's very similar to the one before. It's built kind of on the edge of the beach, sort of moving into the jungle at this point. So you can see there are no fires, there are no lights around this town. If you guys want to make perception checks from this distance to see what else you can suss out.
Heck yeah. 11.
Oh, you're just so
I rolled
relieved.
an
You're just so itchy,
unnatural
Kara.
20.
Same.
Okay. So, Kara, you're just too preoccupied with all your new mosquito bites.
I'm
They
pulling
love
wigs out of
dwarves.
my hair.
But you two see that in this dim kind of light that's settling, there's no indication of fires or smoke or anything that you would normally see at a village at this time. But you do see humanoid shapes moving through the town.
Like...
And they're kind of odd. They seem to, like, move randomly without any purpose. Just sort of...
No!
Yeah, making these, like, kind of almost like patrol circles around the village.
Or zombie.
But you would have to get a little bit closer to see exactly what's going on.
Saya wants to sneak closer.
All right.
Wait, Saya, wait.
Make me
Take Alistar with you.
Is he sneaky?
Yeah,
I'm
he'll sit
sneaky. I don't.
sneaky. You can carry
sit on
him,
your
so
shoulder.
he wouldn't have to make some checks. And then if you want, you can see through his
Yeah,
eyes now.
I can go with you, basically, without being there.
Right.
All right.
So, you two want to post up and Saya do
Yeah.
sneakies towards
Car-
the village?
Yeah. Stealth.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Sneaky
that's a
in the jungle.
26.
All right. Yeah, so you're like, I got this, and you like hop up like from the beach sandbar upward to that level where it sort of starts to become patchy ground and sand in between the trees, and you're definitely picking your way through and moving. So you get pretty close to the edge of the town as you're moving in. Now you can definitely see that they are the shapes of, they look like furbolgs, but there's something wrong with them. You see they seem to like stumble and move about awkwardly, and as you get in closer and closer you realize that some of them have wounds on them, so it looks like you see one with its face that looks like it's been gashed open and dried cake blood around it, and it's just kind of staring around with these glassy eyes staring off towards the beach, and then it moves down and around. So there are a bunch of these forms that are kind of, so there's something really freaking wrong. And you just get that sense of badness as you're looking at them.
Is there like an obvious tent or area that they're patrolling more heavily?
They just seem to be like maybe 10 of these things, like randomly scattering through the town. But you can see that there are a couple larger structures that are built into sort of, so this was like a little cove kind of area. So there's actually this stark wall that comes up where the trees are up on top. So it looks like towards that hill, there's actually kind of a slope down. So there might be some kind of cave or bigger structure hidden there. But you wouldn't really be able to see it without getting like into the town area and going down. So you're like patrolling along up that hilltop that creates kind of this wall to the beach environment below. So you think maybe in that wall there might be a bigger structure or a cavern or something in that direction.
Okay.
But do you want to try to sneak into the village?
I
and
think
get
I
a
would.
closer look?
I kind of want to try and sneak up that wall,
Mm-hmm.
like climb the mountain or hilltop thing that's kind of surrounding them.
Yeah. All right, make another deception for me.
Perception?
Stealth or deception or whatever it is in those games.
Okay.
Stealth, right?
19.
Okay. Yeah, so you continue making your way along top, and now since you're climbing up ahead, you have to be extra careful as you're moving along to not be seen by these things that are patrolling the village below. But you sort of come towards the top of this ridge, and now you definitely get a clearer view that underneath this ridge there is a cavern. that leads deep into the side of the hillside. So it's like you're standing on the top of the entrance to this cavern below you. So the route to get to it would be to go in through the village and then down into this cavern.
How far above the cavern am I?
So right now, I mean, if you were to drop 10 feet, you could, like, that would be where the top of it is. So it's like a tunnel leading down and diagonally into the earth.
Okay. I'm speaking to Alistair. Can you, like, hear what he would hear, too?
Yeah.
I
so you
perceive
get all the senses.
Okay. So I'm speaking to Fitzpatrick, telling him and you that what's happening, and I want to jump down and go down. Will you guys be able to sneak in?
I'd say
behind me.
Alistar is able to speak. I can speak through Alistar.
So much for a rest.
Oh, we didn't rest already? I thought we did.
No, so you just decided to go.
Okay.
Have a look-sees.
Alistar says, simultaneously while you're doing this, because I can see and hear and smell and sense everything, so you don't actually have to tell me. I relay this information to Kara and say, Kara, should we go in after that? Like, you want to follow up?
She replies back to, hold on, let me put on my armor if we're gonna get in some shit.
So I whisper.
Gotta be like 10 minutes.
If you need me to come back, I will.
Alistar whispers in to, like, kind of, he just, like, opens his mouth a little bit, and you hear Arnadel's voice come out of him. Hey,
so freaking.
Saya.
Weird.
Kara needs to put her armor on. Just take it easy. We're gonna come with you.
Okay.
I mean, do you need to rest to recover your spells or anything, Britt? Like, what are you like right now? Because I'm 81 out of 84 health points. Like, I'm chilling.
You're good. You're looking good.
Yeah. I mean, I go back. I whisper to Saya, we need to kind of, like, I need my spell slots. I want to.
I need my spell slots.
At the very least,
that mean?
At the very least, having a short rest would be great.
Like, we need to rest. Can you come back and we can come up with a game plan?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it possible for me to, like, post up where I am now and, like, keep a lookout from my point of view? Or is it too steep? That's what I want to do.
You could totally do that, as long as you just kept a low profile.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to hang out here. Let me know when you're ready.
Alistar's going to fly back to me and lead us to where you're at.
Okay.
And we'll rest next to you. Okay.
All right. So you got them. So Saya, as you're left there watching all this, you see a few of these strange, sickened furbolgs. Honestly, they look more like moving corpses to you than they do like the former.
Yeah, I'll do a Arcana
nature
check.
Or
no, nature.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Either would be good.
14.
You think these things are undead? They look like zombie versions.
Yeah.
Of the villagers who probably lived there.
Mm-hmm. Goody.
That's lame.
Yeah. And you see, as you're posted up, a few of them wander in and out of that cave that you're sitting on top of. So it's like you're watching them go in and out and then move back on their patrols. So whatever is in this tunnel is definitely home base.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you all meet up at that top of the hill and take a short rest. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So you hang out for an hour. It becomes 7 p.m., so it's full dark now.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Oh, we've got more torches, Saye. They didn't get all wet when you were drowning.
I think torches are a bad idea, honestly. I don't know how we can help you.
Poor little blind human.
Aww. Poor little
Saya,
baby
we've
human.
got to find a way that we can do this. We're not going to be able to... It's like pitch black. We're going to be targets if we light a torch.
I mean, if we're in a
It's
coming
not
down into a cave.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we're going down into a cave. I'll wait to do it when we're actually in there.
What's the plan, maidens?
Yeah, we're gonna have to like sneak into that cave. That's what we're gonna have to do.
Could I make a nature check? Okay, have I seen any of the weird undead furbolgs?
Yes, once you're up at the top, you can see them.
Cool. I would like to make a nature check on them. See if I know anything about undead things.
Yeah.
Oh. 13.
Okay. You know general things about undead. They are usually pretty resilient. It takes dark magic to create undead. You know that vision for them isn't a problem, so they can see very well in darkness. That's probably why nothing has been lit or anything. You know that one magic user has to create them and control them. So typically if you bring down the magic user, you bring down the monsters. And then you know that they're really resilient to damage. They have a tendency of not dying real easy. But they're not super strong because they are former versions of themselves. Cool. That's kind of what you get.
Alright, I relay everything that I could possibly recall to you guys.
I mean, I probably already know this.
want to...
You didn't make a check.
You didn't make a check, so you don't know nothing. Until you make your checks.
Everything that I've ever learned in school never applies unless I roll a check.
Yeah.
It's just like real life too.
That's true.
Until you take an SAT, it doesn't matter. But standardized testing is the only way to measure intelligence.
Yeah. Gotta make your intelligence saving throw
by filling in a bubble.
I'm
gonna start bringing D20.
I never took the SAT.
ACT, SAT.
I never took any of that shit because I was like, I'm going to art school. I don't have to do that. And then I became a math major.
Weird. What is the plan, ladies?
Sneak in the fuck in.
Do we really have to go into the cave? Aren't we just supposed to kill the undead things?
Well, the thing creating the undead things could be in there or one of these huts. So, what Saya wants to do is quickly try and break out her crossbow, light up the head of one of her arrows, and aim it at one of the huts to either cause a distraction or cause, like, a fire. And burn
Arnadale's down. Arnadale just quietly nods, like, yeah.
Yeah. You totally have time to line up your shot and go for it. So you send your lighted arrow flying off into one of these thatched huts. It's just all palm fronds and everything woven together. And it immediately begins to catch fire. And a bunch of these things just sort of, like, they turn around and give it this slow sort of look. Kind of unconcernedly just shuffle back and forth between each other. And then you see a couple of them start to move back into the cave. But the rest patrolling don't really seem to have that desperation of, like, anything that would care. Their eyes never seem to change. These glossy, filmy eyes.
Totally backfired.
And the hut is now burning ablaze, and it's starting to set fire to a bunch of other things.
Yeah. Fire.
So it seems a few of these creatures shambled down into the cave, seeing this. But there are still about 8 of them walking around at various points.
So wait, after that, 2 creatures walked away back into the cave. I'm like, Saya, do you think they went to go tell their boss?
It's very possible. Or they're just trying to hide away from the heat. We could bury them. Like, blow up a chunk of this cliff somehow and bury them in the tunnel.
I think we need to get into the tunnel, though.
You still got that rope of climbing, right?
Yeah. You saying we go down with it?
I mean, it seems...
Yeah, maybe it can, like, if the tunnel's tall enough, we can just slide, just float over him. Yeah.
I mean,
remember these creatures are like 7, 8
Well, how
feet
tall's
tall.
the tunnel?
I don't know. You haven't
Let's
been
go
in.
check it out. Wait,
You're taking the rope of climbing?
I send Alistar to do some reconnaissance.
Well, does he have dark?
Oh
good
yeah,
idea.
he's got my abilities.
Britt, do you want to throw up that last image?
Yes. Thank
Of
you.
her cave.
Sorry, I'm not.
You're welcome. Yeah. So yeah, you can totally. He's like.
And I'm like,
he's like super
I
feeling
pet him
uncomfortable.
and I give him a little treat, and I'm just like, it's okay. I'm with you. I'm here with you. I'm with you. I feel.
You get that sense. He's like dark magic.
I feel like the telepathic communication is kind of like, and you all know, you all do this. Do not even pretend like you don't. But you know, like when you're talking to yourself, like you're mulling things over in your own head. I feel like that.
I do that all the time.
I feel like that would be the communication with Alistar. It's not like I actually hear a voice, but it's like I'm talking to myself, but he's the other self.
Yeah, got you.
Okay. So I'm like,
All right. So, yeah, he flies down into this cave and kind of drops. And are you using your senses to look through his eyes right now? Okay. So you get that, like, you black out in your own mind, and Arnadel goes kind of limp as you're seeing through the eyes of this other creature. And he hovers and flies down a little bit and then actually attaches to the underside of the tunnel, so there are loose roots and stuff sticking through, so he's scrabbling his way along, because you can actually see a couple of these creatures are shambling backwards now, but he grows very, very quiet as he's moving and shuffling his way downwards. And you see this tunnel take a sharp drop down below and to another level with this like wide kind of stamped out earthen circular room. So it might have been like a ritual chamber or temple of some kind. And you see there that there are more of these creatures that are just like put together in this group. So there look to be about 15 of them, and they're all like standing shoulder to shoulder and sort of with their heads down and like looking around the room, but not really moving, standing in the center of it. And then you see on the far side of this room, a stone altar of some kind has been laid out. And you see all of these bowls and skulls and shining glass bottles, like covering its surface. And then back behind the counter, you see this man dressed in these black robes trimmed with scarlet, who's sort of poring over this large book in front of him. And he seems to be two of these zombie creatures are standing in front of the desk and making these strange sounds. And the man seems to be nodding like he understands what they're saying. And then you get Fitzpatrick just sort of begins to like back up and out and moves up and comes back to you.
Scared.
Yeah, he's like, that sense of like dread and that feeling of like wrong, bad.
If I list the languages that I speak, would you be able to tell me if I understood?
So the creatures didn't seem to be speaking any kind of like understandable language. You think maybe it was sort of broken Elvish, but it's like this guy maybe was almost telepathically communicating with these things as opposed to them actually speaking a language. You know, imagine rotting tongues trying to speak a language. It's not real speech, you know.
That would be an
terrible issue. That makes it even more incredibly disturbing. So I relate every single detail of this information back to Saya and Kara.
I say we bury the tunnel.
How do we even explode that? Like, that definitely should happen.
It's pretty wide.
It's probably rock.
So the big cavern you were in was probably about 50 by 50. That sphere.
Yeah. Doesn't Kara know?
Kara puts her hand on her helmet, and then she's like, "I've got an idea."
I do too. Okay, Kara, I have an idea also. but tell me yours, and then I'll tell you mine. Deal? Okay.
Okay. Well, my helmet's good at, like, helping me shatter stuff. So maybe I could shatter some rocks that would close up the entrance or something.
I'm about
That's all I got.
to fucking blow y'all's mind. So,
Please do.
I have this new ability that I can do since I've leveled up. It's called Dimension Door. I can take somebody with me, and as long as I can visualize where I'm going, which I can now because of Alistar Fitzpatrick, I can teleport with that willing creature to that exact location. Meaning, I can take Saya or Kara, surprise this fucker, and stab him in the throat.
I like stabbing.
Okay.
Well, really more of like slashing, but you know, stabbing is good too.
We would need, I would say, whoever's better at bulldozing through 15 undead, slow undead, would be able to barge in after us to take up the rear. What's the plan?
Well,
Okay.
I feel like that's pointless if we're trying to kill the guy immediately. I mean, all of his undead will then fall anyway. Saya likes the plan, but she is also still compelled to somehow fill the tunnel, which might be a good opportunity for her to realize one of her powers. But she's also down to teleport.
Right, y'all gotta tell me what you're doing.
Because she can flood. I can flood things.
So do you want me... So you're... Okay, setting aside what Nassim knows, Saya probably doesn't know that, right?
No, but she's getting a strong... Like, she wanted to blow up the opening to the tunnel.
So do you think if Arnadel teleported you and be like, hey, Saya, do you have an idea of what you want to do? Saya would be like, I don't know, let's just do it. And then that might be like a knee-jerk reaction.
No, not if she's in the tunnel. She's not going to flood it.
You can breathe water, right?
Yeah, but you can't.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
You'll take damage if I do that, probably.
I'm willing to take some punches.
I'm gonna point out that undead people probably don't need to breathe air and probably wouldn't care about drowning.
Right. You're totally right. That's a very valid point.
That's a thought.
Yeah, Kara speaks the truth.
So what are we doing?
I mean...
Alright.
Give me a decision.
Yeah.
Well,
you gotta have an attack lined up, because you're gonna have to do it right away. Or I can attack. I can do it. I can teleport in there, attack, and then, like, teleport out if you wanted to flood it.
No. I mean, let's do the teleport thing.
Are you going with her?
Who wants to go with me? Yeah, who's going with me?
Saya wants to, but she knows Kara wants to, too.
I also know Kara likes to bash the fuck out of things, and as many as she can.
You guys are the most polite D&D group ever.
We're like, no, after you. No, after you.
It's killing me.
Let's flip a coin and see who goes.
That's all I can hold.
All right. Saya will go.
Kara, that's cool.
I'll make sure shit's fine over here.
Yeah, just keep an ear out if you hear a lot of struggling.
Leave, for better or for worse, leave that weird little dragon thing with me, so if I get ambushed, you know what's going on.
I mean, yeah. So I give Alistar a kiss on his little head, and I place him on Kara's shoulder.
She begrudgingly accepts the thing that is perched on her shoulder.
Because you've only given him side eyes before.
We look at each other and we have a moment. We're like, this is a thing that we gotta do, and it's okay. I am tolerating you, creature.
And he does the same thing. He raises his 2 little fingers and...
Arnett,
Oh my God.
Arnett feels the
Your eyes.
sassiness. Arnett's like, alright, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Kara falls immediately in love.
That's all it took.
He,
Oh, nice.
Like,
sneezes
like-
and lets out some glitter.
Was like, and then she's like, was holding up like a knuckle for like a little knuckle bump. But it's like, no,
Aww.
you brought the
Covered in
glitter.
Okay,
Glitter.
so I grab Sawya. I grab you, and we like have to like hug and teleport. I teleport
Okay.
behind the necromancer.
I've taken out my short sword. I'm holding it as I'm
Okay,
hugging you.
I teleport
Okay.
behind the necromancer, and I've got both of my daggers out as I'm holding
Okay.
Sawya. So I'm also prepared.
Great. So, as you feel that familiar sense of teleportation that is going better for you this time than it did last time, you suddenly appear in this room. Saya, it is completely dark in here. You cannot see what is in front of you. Arnadel, you see this scene that was described in front of you as you're just popping behind this stone altar and behind this person in this black and scarlet robe. And as you do so, there's this little sound like of dimension door going off, and you just feel this like tension suddenly rise in the room, and you guys get a surprise
Okay,
round.
so I use Awakened Mind. Sawya is directly behind this person.
Yeah.
I tell Sawya, I scream with Awakened Mind, just fucking swing.
Okay.
Okay. So surprise would give you advantage, but complete dark gives you disadvantage, so it's just a normal roll. We're canceling it out.
Sweet.
Normal roll to hit.
With my short sword. Okay. Ooh, honey. That's 18 to hit.
Okay. So you super land a blow. Give me a damage. As you just chunk into this back, Armadel's like, now in front of you! Bah! And you're like, and you feel that familiar sense of your blade stabbing into skin. And you hear this rattling.
Okay, so that's a plus 8 damage, but I get an extra strike because
Yeah.
I did it with the monk weapon. Do I roll? I roll a hit
Like,
again.
Yeah, and then
Yeah. So to hit, that's now 21 with 9 damage.
So you take this huge fucking chunk as you just stick in your blades and you like tear at the back of this person. You see Arnadel, she caught him right between the
Right.
shoulder blades on both sides,
Ooh,
dragging down. And then Arnadel, you get your attack and you have advantage since it's a
Sick.
surprise
And I'm
here.
using one of my daggers, also to attack.
Mhm.
Okay, that's 16 to hit.
That's not
Ooh,
going to hit.
damn.
This bouncing blue shield seems to have come up. You can see it with your magic. The minute he got hit, as a reaction, this like shield went up around. You recognize mage armor.
Gotcha.
So that's not gonna
Okay.
do it. Yeah. So as that goes up, and you just hear this gasping, like rattling moan coming from this, and suddenly all of the zombies in the room are like fucking freaking out as they're going and like turning around and like gleaming their eyes like towards their master at the table. So now you see all these sets of glistening, glossy eyes staring at you. And you actually begin to hear this roaring kind of slurping sound coming from, now you can see as the zombies in the center are turning away and breaking their circle, you see this massive kind of fleshy pile is all you can understand it. And as the zombies turn and part, this pile begins to float and move up into the air. So you see this spherical kind of thing with these long stalks coming off the top of it. And the next thing you see is as this one singular eye in the center of its form begins to open up, and this dim yellow light is cast over the room as you see the giant zombie floating form.
Shut up, you knew it. Yes, I
Fucking
am.
zombie beholder,
Okay.
bitches!
In the moment.
No, we're gonna end.
Fantastic.
We're gonna end the game
Oh,
there.
fuck.
Oh shit.
No, wait, can I have
Damn
one more
it.
thing? Can I have one more thing before we end?
What? What is
Am I
there one more
60
thing?
feet? Am I within 60 feet of Kara? Okay.
No.
Well, it doesn't fucking matter because I have Alistar. I use Alistar to scream at Kara to get her ass in here.
All right.
She leaps down the hole.
That's all I wanted.
And that's
Kara's like circus part.
Good
That's
to
all I
go.
wanted.
Yes. So that is where we're ending tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this other glorious episode of the Venture Maidens. Kind of a fun little thing we're doing. We'll have to get some answers next time and see what's what. But until then, everybody, please, if you want to know more about us, check out theventuremaidens.com. We have links there to our Patreon, patreon.com/venturemaidens. It's been doing really well, and we're really hoping to make our goals so we can upgrade some mics and get some better audio editing software for you all. Thank you as always, and please feel free to chat with us at Venture Maidens on Twitter, Venture Maidens on Facebook. Go everywhere, do everything.
Yeah, and follow us on our own personal things too. We're also all on the Twitter, on the Instagram.
I need to remind you guys, when you donate to Patreon, you get cool shit. Can we talk
really
about that
cool
for a
stuff.
second? You get cool shit when you donate, and you just have to donate $1.
Actually,
that's the least you can do.
Yeah, we just upgraded it. We just added another tier today, so $3. So for those of you who can't quite do the $5, we have the $3 tier, and our very own Sage wrote up their own module of, if you guys saw it when we did our bonus episode with Ian. So that's up there. Super cool. And then the audio will be coming soon, so you can listen to that episode and read along in the module. Use it in your own games. It's super great. Lots of cool stuff on there. We put up our deleted scenes. We put up all kinds of stuff.
Character sheets.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever actually mentioned, at least on the stream before, that these streams also get recorded and put onto YouTube. So the Venture Maidens also have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, we never really talk about that.
Subscribe there too. Yeah, subscribe there. Like the videos. All those things.
If you visit,
if you miss it,
if you visit the website, I made it really easy. You click on a picture.
It's right there.
If you see a picture, you can fucking click on it. Just try. Just click on everything.
It's so simple. A dead baboon could do it.
A dead baboon.
Yeah. And I also have some sweet merch. If you guys want some artwork, that's available. Just click on the merch tab.
We have character portraits.
It says merch. Just click.
Some other really cool.
Just click.
Oh yeah, babies. Click everywhere. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much. We love you. You're great. And you know what? Until next time.
Venture.
We did it together this time, you guys.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You ready to
Team.